welcome everyone. My name is Emma Witten. I'm here on behalf of Concordia University in Irvine, which is a small private Lutheran school within the Concordia system. It's one of the foremost Lutheran church music programs here in Southern California, and really in an ideal position for taking advantage of everything that Southern California has to offer. It's in Orange County, which is about halfway between the Los Angeles area and the San Diego area. So there's a really rich array of opportunities for musicians, as I'm sure I see some of our fellow SoCal faculty members can attest to. I have a few brief slides. Yes, thank you, Phil. I have a few brief slides that I'd like to share with you, just to share with you some of the instruments and some of the key opportunities that we have here at Concordia. I'm going to briefly share my screen with you, and just to put up some slides here. All right, so here at Concordia, as far as organ is concerned, we offer only an undergraduate program. We do have graduate opportunities in music ed and nursing as well. As I said, we have a really gorgeous location here in Irvine and about 3,500 students, both on campus and online, with very small, very collaborative classes, which has proven very successful for our undergraduate student body. We offer a Bachelor of Arts in Music with several different concentrations. So concentrations in organ performance, and then also in church music and worship arts, both of which are usually the ones taken advantage of by our organ majors, but also things like composition, commercial music, which is very strong at Concordia, and music education, if someone's looking for a slightly different route, and you can combine coursework in all of those areas. Our organ faculty include Dr. Tom Mueller, who is actually currently serving as interim dean of arts and sciences this year, we are so lucky to have a musician, particularly an organist, in that role. Tom is still teaching organ in addition to his duties as dean. He's also an active recitalist and church musician at St. James in the city up in Los Angeles, and a published composer with great experience in composition, also great experience in jazz and in Americana. He led the Americana ensemble at Concordia for many years. And then I'm assisting Tom as professor of organ and church music and interim university organist while Tom is dean. I teach a lot of the church music courses like hymnody and planning Christian worship, organ studio courses, of course, and things like music history and oral skills. Our undergrad curriculum is accredited by NASM, the National Association of Schools of Music, and a very, very strong church music curriculum, preparing our 21st century church musicians with a very diverse skill set, including with skills to succeed in both contemporary and traditional music, and with a broad variety of skills, not only as organists, but also as prepared to direct choirs, work with children, work with handbell choirs, and more. We have courses in conducting, choral and handbell methods and repertoire, planning Christian worship, hymnody, and more, as well as, of course, our traditional undergrad music curriculum. And our graduates often go straight into full-time church employment in many denominations, and especially in the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. We have a director of parish music program that gives students the opportunity to have a guaranteed call into a Lutheran church following graduation, or delayed by a few years if they want to go to graduate school in the meantime. And we do have many. We have a current grad, Katrina Lau, who is currently at Yale School of Music. We also have graduates in other majors who continue in different careers, but continue to study organ as well. As far as instruments, we have 3 main pipe organs on campus. We have a 3-manual Cassavant organ in the Center for Worship and the Arts, which is our main instrument for performing and teaching. We also have a small Elmer Gutz organ in Zhang Orchestra Hall in the music building, which is a beautiful instrument. It's very intimate. The pipes are right there in front of you, so it's great for practice as well. And then a beautiful Schlicker organ in our chapel right up at the top of the hill, and it's also a great practice location, really nice acoustic and often very private. No one comes up here to bother you. In our music building, This is essentially a brand new building and everything's state of the art, which is very lucky for both students and faculty. And we have two 3 manual practice organs there, one of which includes interchangeable flat and concave pedal boards, which is great for our students who are preparing for opportunities on different instruments, particularly if they're preparing for something on a flat pedal board. Or me, I've also taken advantage of this. It's very useful. And there are just a few photos of the Borland-Mansky Center, or the BMC as we call it. And of course, with Zhang Hall in the center with the Goetz organ there. Our students get a pretty diverse array of performance opportunities. We have a huge variety of ensembles, which take both US and international tours. The orchestra is going, not this weekend, but the next weekend to Arizona. And our organ students regularly perform. They have opportunities on the tours. One of my organ students will be playing at Pinnacle Presbyterian in Scottsdale on a beautiful Richards and Foulkes organ there. They also perform in chapel services, which we have nearly every day on campus, noon recitals, master classes with guest artists, and of course in events throughout Southern California in the broader organ world here. If you have a student who's interested in scholarships, we have a significant music scholarship program, particularly based on the ensemble needs of the program. There's a form online that you can fill out and get in contact with our music admissions team and get any information that you might be interested there, and also to set up an audition date and just time to talk with faculty. I can help answer any questions. I've got my email address is on the next slide. And we also have organ scholarships through our local AGO chapter. The Orange County American Guild of Organists has a study grant program that offers very generous study grants to organists studying with local teachers, which includes Concordia or other area schools as well. So if you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to me or to Michael Bush, who is kind of the interim director of church music and director of the choral program, and then any logistical questions to our auditions team at that email. And I think I have a minute or two if you have any questions now. Feel free to ask or put them in the chat.
What's a typical schedule like for an organ major?
Is in their course schedule?
Mm-hmm.
They usually have at least 1 or 2 core curriculum courses, either core or an elective in their later years. Then they usually have a couple of core music courses. So freshman year, that's going to be something like oral skills and music theory, or sophomore year, that would probably include music history. And then they usually have something from their curriculum. So say if their concentration is church music, we have 1 course for church music each semester. So they'll be in something like hymnody or planning Christian worship or conducting or something that's really directly tied to that. And then of course their organ study and probably at least 1 ensemble. Many of our organists are in the handbell ensembles and also in the choirs as well. And we have some who play another instrument. For example, one of our seniors is just an incredible cellist. And so she has a very significant scholarship for being cellist in the orchestra as well. And she's very highly in demand for that, in addition to organ.
Wonderful, thank you. The next university who is up is the University of Redlands, but I don't see their representative here, but I could be wrong.
I am here.
Hello, Joseph. Okay, great. So you are up.
Alrighty, thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Modica. I'm the director of the Conservatory of Music and the School of Performing Arts here at the University of Redlands. Can you hear me okay? Okay, awesome. Thank you for including us in this event today. We're really honored to be here and included with our colleagues from these other wonderful schools. University of Redlands is located at the foothills of the San Bernardino mountain range in the Inland Empire of Southern California. We're a short drive to the beach, to the mountains, to the desert. Really great location. We have a light rail train station right on campus now that takes you all over Southern California. So it's a really ideal location. It's a beautiful day today, I can tell you that. And, our students love going out and practicing on the quad and think not our organ students, but our other students. Um, and it's just a really beautiful place to live and work. So my job today is to introduce you to our professor of organ and music history, Dr. Philip Hoke. He is on our faculty. He's also a graduate of the University of Redlands. And he's also a graduate of UCLA. He did his DMA with Christoph Bull there. And while he was here at Redlands, he studied with Frederick Swan. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Hoke.
Thank you, Dr. Modika. Good evening, good afternoon, everybody. And once again, thank you so much for the opportunity to give a little talk about our fantastic programs that we have available here at the University of Redlands. So, Redlands by the numbers, we have a lot of alumni, over 50,000. But the main point that I want to show for you is the bottom left there, is we have a lot of campuses across the world. Our most famous one is located in the city of Salzburg, right around the downtown area of Salzburg, where you're culturally located in that rich music history centered city in Western Europe. And so a lot of our students, music students especially, have the opportunity to study there for a term, or we have a term for the month of May that we call May term, where you get to experience a little bit more of the performance aesthetics of performing in classical repertoire, go to the different architectures and the fantastic buildings that are there in Salzburg and get to play on some of the instruments. So we have a castle that was built in the 1500s that is owned by the university. And so a lot of our students just love to get to experience firsthand the rich history of Mozart's music and all of those famous composers and the musical Sound of Music in that rich history of Salzburg there. The student life at Redlands is wonderful. We have a lot of clubs and organizations, Greek life sororities. We have our Phi Mu Alpha, which is a fraternity of the Delta chapter, and then we have the Sigma Alpha Iota for the sorority, and they all interact with each other and get our professors involved as well. So it's a very tight-knit community that we are very proud of, and also supporting the interdisciplinary works that we have to offer. We also have a lot of inclusion and community growth centers that we have here. We have the Multicultural Center, we have Pride Centers, and we have Center for Gender Justice. But the most important thing that as of recently is the University of Redlands was recently recognized as a Hispanic serving institution. So we have a lot of first generation students who are in the process of learning more about the college life, and the faculty are very supportive in making sure that the students are on track and the faculty communicate with each other to ensure that every student has the best opportunity and the resources to get them to completion of the graduate programs. Housing, we have 14 residential communities on campus, but over 80% of the students live on campus and they interact with each other. Oftentimes, when I'm counseling my graduate student cohorts, I tell them the very first day, you are going to be in touch with your colleagues for the rest of the life. And so after they have completed their graduate degrees with me, then they go on and they're still in touch and performing and networking with each other. So we strive by the idea of your network is your net worth for music. And that is especially true here for our communities as well. We also have some dining options available. We have the table, which is the all-you-can-eat buffet style, and then there's the all good station for those that have some allergies that they can help curate some diet nutrition for you. There's the launch kitchen, which is kind of like the test kitchens of anything that the table is working on, that you get to vote and say, how does this food work? Does it taste good? So an opportunity to get some feedback from the students. And then we have the coffee shop, the Den, where the students also can get coffee and smoothie bowls. Got to put the essentials first. But the great thing here at the University of Redlands is the student to faculty ratio is about 13 to 1. So the smaller the class size, the better. We don't treat our students as like a statistic. They are a person. We get to know them, learn about their strengths, and how can we help boost and push them to that next level of curiosity, of learning, and application of what they are learning. So we can see here's Professor Art Svensson of the religion department, likes to have classes outside, but to have students in a circle to really get to know them, where are they at with their intersections of their studies, and how can they see new concepts or even old concepts, but then within a new framework. We have a lot of programs to offer, but specifically we're going to look here into our music side, where we do have our newly installed School of Performing Arts, where we have the two departments, the Conservatory of Music and the Department of Theater and Dance, and we interact with each other a lot. We have some operas coming up, but we have musicals coming up. But the main things I want to touch base here are the degrees that we have to offer. For the Bachelor's of Music, we have composition, music education, and performance. You can also get a Bachelor of Arts in Music, minors in music, and then for our master's candidates, we have Masters of Music and Performance, as well as our newly installed Kodai certificate program, and then Artist Diploma in organ performance as well. For composition, the students receive one-on-one composition lessons from our two faculty. We have Dr. Andre Myers shown in the picture here, and then we also have Dr. Tony Suter. If you want to pursue a degree in music composition, you will work with them firsthand and also take organ lessons with me if you want to have your instrument of specialty as such, in which case you can have your pieces performed for your academic recitals, your junior recital, but for our composition students, it'll be a capstone project as their senior recital. For music education, this is a cool thing that we have to offer is if you come to the University of Redlands, you can graduate with a Bachelor's of Music and complete your credential all within 4 years. We also have a 4+1 program where you can complete your Bachelor's of Music and Education in 4 years and then stay 1 extra year to get your Master's in Music called the 4+1. But here, if you want to go into this route, you can take organ lessons with me and also experiment the curating of your teaching style by working with our youth choir, our youth symphony, and our string project, which involves a lot of our younger students in the Redlands area. And the interesting thing is the 100% placement rate, which means so once you complete your student teaching credential, we guarantee that you will get into an institution to get started to teach and to do some student teaching leadership. The big one here is the performance, and here's where you get the foundational framework of starting off in your first 2 years with ear training, theory, and music history with myself. And then from there, you can go on to focus with your liberal arts foundation if you want to take science-based classes or some creative writing or economics. The possibilities are truly endless here. And we also have a program called the Johnson Center for the Arts, where students can go above and beyond to kind of create their own major as they work with the professors and an advisement to where you can essentially create your own degree pathway. And one of our graduates in that program is now a retired executive at NASA. And then the organ studies, the cool thing about our campus is we have 5 instruments on campus. 3 of them are pipe-based. The one that you just saw there was our main Casavant Opus 1236. 4 manuals, beautiful instrument on our campus is a memorial chapel. We do have a 2-manual Schlicker organ that's in our Frederick Lowe Performance Hall. And then in my office, there is a George Stevens from 1882. Kind of a cool, interesting Baroque style instrument. And then of course, we have 2 digital instruments in our practice rooms that students are more than welcome to practice on. And then if you would like to hear the Casavant, I'm here to also promote an album I was working with Philip Glass and transcribing his glass works that was performed on the Memorial Chapel. So you can look up glass works arranged for organ wherever you stream music and get to hear the wonderful Casavant instrument. We have a lot of ensembles to choose from. Our organ majors can work with any of these ensembles, but the main one that we like to see them is with our choral program. We have a fantastic program for also intersecting with organ and choir. Performance opportunities are seemingly endless. And I think
I'm
that's
so
pretty
sorry
much it.
to interrupt, Philip, but I think your time has
It's all
run out
good.
and we have to move on. Oh, good.
All good.
It's at the end. Great. All right. So next up is the Baylor University. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Let me start sharing my screen. So I have been at Baylor University for the past 2 years, and I think those 2 years have been the best in my life. And I want to share a little bit about the exciting things that have been happening here in the past 2 years. You can find everything about the degree programs that we offer on our website. It goes from bachelor to master's, doctoral programs, and artist diploma, both in church music and organ performance. And you can do secondary degrees and all of that. But again, I would like to invite you to visit our website to find information on that. I would like to share some of the things that you don't necessarily find on the website, some of the things that I think make this program special. We have a really great studio here that has grown to 11 majors this fall. We actually were supposed to have even more, but some of our international students had problems with their visa. As you know, that has been a little bit of an issue lately. But in addition to those majors, we have 14 more students taking organ lessons. So we have a total of 25. I teach the majors, and then my GA teaches some of the additional students enrolled in secondary lessons and also adjunct faculty. The studio is a really great group of people. They have really bonded. There are a lot of activities that outside of the classes where they come together, some like studio parties that we have at my place, but also things like actually right now, one of the students organized an organ crawl in Austin, his hometown. And so most of the studio is in Austin at this point and looking at some of the wonderful organs there. On campus, we have a total of 11 pipe organs. 5 of them are in concert halls. They are very eclectic, tracker action, EP, different styles. And then we have 5 dedicated practice rooms with organs, so that basically the students always have access to an instrument. I myself, actually, we have a piano and harpsichord at home, but not an organ, and I do all my practice here at the university. Then we have a portative that we use actually for continuo. We just had a Bach cantata performance. That's an annual thing. And we have 5 harpsichords. One of them is actually brand new. We're going to have the dedication recital later this semester where my wife and I are going to perform. Then we go on annual study trips. This is something that I'm particularly proud of. I started that my first year. We went to Paris, and it's a rotation where every other year we go to Europe. And so this year we are going to this coming spring we're going to go to Germany. It will be alternating Paris and Germany for the international trips, and in between we go somewhere in the US. We were in Boston last year, and next year in 2 years we're going to go to New York, so that the students really have the opportunity to discover different instruments. We have wonderful instruments on campus, but I think it's important to discover the instruments for which a lot of the repertoire was written, and especially the French and German repertoire of particular importance. So I try to provide that opportunity. The students actually pay for their travel, but everything else is covered by Baylor, thanks to very generous donors. Then we have a lot of performance opportunities for both for solo, chamber, and ensemble. We have a lot of choirs and orchestras and wind ensembles here on campus, and they often need organ support. We have a couple of programs that I want to highlight. You see 2 of the pictures on the right. That's from our Halloween concerts, which is again coming up October 31st. It's a university favorite where the whole studio plays and everyone dresses up, and you get literally hundreds of students. It's a lot of fun, and it allows us to show the organ from a very different angle. And then the other one is, if you look at the top, the second picture from the left, that is one of my former students who won the Semper Pro Musical Organ Competition. It's one of the competitions that Baylor offers every other year, where every other instrumentalist, the winners, get to perform in Carnegie Hall. And given that Carnegie Hall doesn't have an organ, the organist performs in the church. And so 2 years ago, that was in St. Patrick's Cathedral. This coming year, it's going to be at St. John the Divine on the just recently refurbished Aeolian organ. So that's another, Skinner organ. This is another great opportunity for students to perform at a really prestigious venue, and to get that exposure of being featured in one of the great cathedrals of our time. We also have the concerto competition, and that's something that is taking place every year. And I really encourage my students to take part in that, because often organists, we play with choirs, but not too much with ensembles. And this is a great opportunity to really get out there and prepare to do something very different. Last year, I had a student who was a finalist with the Barber Toccata Festival. And this year, I have 2 students entering with the Jongen Symphonie Concertante and one with Poulenc, the organ concerto. So I think it's good for the students to experience that kind of repertoire. And then they already have something under the fingers if ever an orchestra conductor will reach out to them and be like, hey, do you want to play with me? We have guest teachers that we bring in every year. The ones that we had in the past 2 years include Kimberly Marshall, Richard Elliott, Bradley Hunter Welch, and Peter Sykes. This coming week, Olivier Latry is going to be here on campus for a concert and masterclass. And then later this year, we have Martin Schmeding from the Leipzig Conservatory and David Enlow from New York. Again, it's something that I think, in addition to the teaching they receive from myself and my colleagues, it's wonderful for students to be able to work with the great masters of our time. Then another thing that is very important to me, I try to provide students with the skills that they need outside of the organ or the music skills. Like I had fabulous teachers in organ, but I never learned how to make a budget. The first time I made a budget was when I was director of music in a church, and I had to submit one for a session to approve it. So my idea was that for the first time in this coming January, we will bring in 4 directors of music or specialists from the Waco area or Dallas area who will speak on topics like personnel. How do you convince the personnel committee that you should get a raise? Finances, how do you do a fundraising campaign because you want to renovate the organ, you think this is really important, but do the people in your church agree with that? How do you plan the music for a whole church year? And how do you do social media, which is something, as we all know, there are organists who really excel at that. We all try to do it, but it's a really difficult topic. So I think having an expert talk about that should be helpful for students and anyone mid-career. I think that's all that I had. I don't know if you have any questions. I have my contact information in there, the website to our organ program, and also our Instagram. That's another thing that it's actually right now I'm doing it because a student who took care of it, she graduated, and you can see the difference. I upload pictures. The student was very good at uploading all kinds of things that jumped around and moved. So talking about social media skills, I myself have a lot to learn. That's it from my part. Any questions?
Could you tell us what some of your recent graduates have gone on to do?
Yes, so I have 2 graduates who went on to full-time employment and 2 graduates who went on to further studies. One is doing a master's degree now at Rice University. The other one is doing a DMA at University of Michigan.
Wonderful. And are there internships or assistantships in local
Yes.
churches available to your
Yes.
students?
All of my students have jobs in local churches. Waco it's a small town with 150,000 or so inhabitants, but it has a lot of churches. And so all of my students have a job. And I should say, I forgot to mention that we also have scholarships available. Graduate students usually receive a GA, a graduate assistantship, that covers full tuition and gives them a stipend. And in exchange, they do teach organ lessons and things like that.
Wonderful. Are there any other questions? All right. I think that we can move on to Johns Hopkins University. I think Daniel is here.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Great to be with you all. Thank you for this opportunity to share a little bit about the organ program at Peabody Conservatory. Daniel Auney. I am coordinator of organ studies and the main organ professor here in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm gonna, once I can, there we go, jump up and share my screen. We're up and running. Okay, let me give you a few little details about our program here at Peabody. Our current size, we're about 10 students in the department, which has been average for the last few years. That just means that there's a lot of one-on-one personal attention for each student. So you're not getting lost in a large department, but it's a lot of special one-on-one, can care for your needs, and there's plenty of extra time outside of lessons to prepare you for extra recitals or to meet you at recital venues. In addition to the students that we have, of which there are students from undergrad through DMA, and as well as minor students, we also have a class called Organ for Non-Majors, which is primarily pianists and composers who are learning the organist. So they become a part of our department as well. So we have 8 to 9 students in that class, and it's an exciting chance to see them get interested in the instrument and become a part of the organ culture. The main courses in the program, there's of course having organ lessons every semester. We have a 1-credit organ seminar course, and the topic changes each semester. And most of these are focused on church music skills, which I'll be talking about in just a little bit. And then in alternating years, it's a full year of organ literature, The next year is a full year of resources for contemporary church musicians, which is basically a church music skills class in which we cover as many of the topics as possible within a year to give at least a broad reach on the many facets that you need to be a successful church musician. So we'll talk about liturgy and hymnody and lectionary liturgical year, hymn playing, reharmonizing, handbells, children's choir, anthems, choral accompaniments, conducting from the console, to give you as many skills as possible. And one thing very unique to Peabody Conservatory is breakthrough curriculum. So you're going to have, depending on your program, 2 to 3 courses which are developed by the conservatory, and they are to give you professional development skills. So in these courses, you will be guided through ways to work on your marketing, how to develop a website, how to improve your resume, how to work on publicity. So it's giving you the skills in a classroom setting from wonderful professionals in these fields on how to develop your core way of reaching out and promoting yourself. On campus, the main teaching instrument is our Holtkamp organ, a mechanical action instrument. This is in part of the conservatory that was originally served as an art gallery. And so the nice thing about that is that we have big windows all along one side overlooking the park. There's an actual tapestry hanging on one part of the wall, and we have wraparound frescoes. It's a nice place to be able to practice. So you get weekly time in here, mornings and evenings and during the day, and this is where the lessons take place. This is our main organ studio. So organ literature class and church music class happens in here where we have a Volker mechanical action instrument. Also on campus, we have a practice room with a Schlicker instrument, as well as a small Skinner practice organ, which is on campus. There is a Hauptwerk organ in the works, which we are working on, which will also be helpful to have on campus as you practice for church music skills needs with hymn accompaniments and anthem accompaniments, as well as organ literature and the pedagogical discussions of registration and the various practices. But in addition to on campus, we have a number of local nearby churches which we have close connections and where we often do recitals and lessons. So at Christ Lutheran Church, where I serve as director of music, there's an 82 rank Andover organ. At Brown Memorial, there's the beautiful 4-manual, wonderfully restored Skinner organ. So if we're working on transcriptions, orchestral pieces, this is a wonderful place where we can come and have lessons. At Mount Calvary Catholic Church, we have a Flentrop Fisk organ. This was really the first instrument in the United States built between these two, Dirk Flentrop and Charles Fisk, great organ builders, which was built on historical principles gathered from organs in Europe. So as opposed to sort of the organ reform having an idea of what they think the organ should sound like, this was the first one really built on wonderful studied principles from Europe. At the Catholic Cathedral, if you want to work on great big French Romantic work, here they have a 130 rank Muller and reworked by Chantz organ, about 6 seconds of acoustic. It's a wonderful chance to work in a space with a live reverberant and how that deals with our music and our timing, as well as a couple instruments in town by Patrick Murphy. And there are many other notable instruments and historic ones that we have access to. Performance opportunities were often visited by leading national and international organists who come and teach and give master classes, and you can have interaction with them. As well as we're fortunate to be in this corridor where we are close to Washington, D.C., Philadelphia is not far away, as well as New York City. And so we often have either an individual student or 2 students will share, or maybe we'll have the whole department as a part of a recital in the area. And other performance collaborations can be with your colleagues here at school. Often students are looking for an organist to accompany them for a part of their recital. And we have a world-renowned composition department at Peabody. And in the last few years, we've come up with a collaboration where an organist is paired with a composer, and the organist gives the composer a theme. It can be a hymn, chant, and you work together with the composer on creating this piece, which is then premiered in early February. Wonderful way to interact with composers and teach them how to write for the organ. And as well, that has also been a great chance for us to, I think 4 times now, be a part of the AGO commissioning project for new music. The program is going to have a strong church music focus. So our organ seminar courses, which I mentioned before, have rotating topics. So some of the past ones have been on improvisation, conducting from the console, how we come up with registrations for anthem accompaniments, and even including how do we authentically approach gospel music on the piano. So I want you to have a broad diversity of styles as you go out into the world and search for a church job. We've seen really wonderful things with our choral program lately with Dr. Beth Willer. So there are chances to sit in the choral literature classes as well as to accompany the choir and other electives where you can gain skills with harpsichord and continuo. Like many of my other colleagues, we've done study trips. So there are local instruments, the Tannenberg organs, one of the first great American organ builders. Visit those which are nearby. We've gone to the Kennedy Center, the Naval Academy. Once the new organ is completed at the National Cathedral, we will go down there. And we have, in the last few years, taken trips abroad, sort of alternating years. So we were in Paris in 2019. The little thing called the pandemic happened. We went back in 2023. We were in Germany last summer and plan to be in Paris again in June 2027. And there is grant money provided from the school as well as department funds we have, which covers most of the expense of that trip for the students. It's a wonderful opportunity to sit at these historic instruments, meet these fantastic organists, and realize what it is to play these pieces on the instruments that they were written for and of which the composers knew so well. It's also just a wonderful opportunity for the students to bond and have time together and make memories. Which, most importantly, we really are a family. Everyone in the studio is very close. It's a healthy competition, but I'm always so pleased at how much they cheer for each other and applaud at studio class for one another. So it's a very supportive environment. A couple years ago, the school announced that for the undergrad program, it is now a no loans program. They will meet full demonstrated need for undergrad students, so you can graduate, which is a rare thing these days, without any loans. The Master of Music, we offer very competitive scholarships as well as graduate assistantships. Please be sure to indicate that on your application so they know to include you in that program. I would highly encourage any master's students to look into the graduate assistantship program. And announced last year, the Doctor of Musical Arts program now offers full tuition during your 2-year residency, which is the bulk of your work. We also have a number of church jobs in the city. So if you're looking for extra income or to fill in that gap between what the scholarship is, there are a number of jobs at various levels of demand. So whether you want full director of music job or whether you're looking for just organist, we always have positions available for students. Here is contact info for myself and as well as a couple of the other students. So a doctoral student and as well as a Master of Music student, if you would want to be in touch with them to get their perspective from a student who's currently in the course, and as well invite you to follow us on our Facebook page and see what we're up to. That's a little snapshot of Peabody.
Thank you so much, Daniel. We really appreciate it. Next up is Iowa State, and I'm actually going to share something for them. Let me just bring it up here. All right. All right, Miriam, you can take it away.
Hi, thank you so much. I would like to thank my software engineer, Jonathan Clark, who's sitting beside me, helping me this. I would like to be most grateful to him. We are in Ames, Iowa, in one of our major studios, and you can see the instruments that we have here. On my left, or I guess on your right, is the Dobson two-manual pipe organ, one of two here at Iowa State University. Straight ahead is a Beckwith 1907 pump organ. We have in between there, you can see a one-manual harpsichord. We have a two-manual double, French double next door in another room similar to this one. And we also have have the orgel kids that we build with the Central Iowa American Guild of Organists. We take out to libraries and schools in the Midwest. And these are my lovely people that I'm going to be referring to in just a moment. This is my current studio. We usually have 10 to 12 organ majors per semester. One-on-one opportunities are amazing and wonderful here. It's an all undergraduate program. We do have non-major courses for organists. This is a science and technology school. So we have many engineers. The woman you just saw playing the organ is one of them. So we have organ lessons, our church music skills, organ literature, pedagogy, improvisation. These are all included in our courses. Hymnody, we conduct from the console. It's quite a variety of styles and languages, half a dozen languages. Our main teaching instrument is the instrument you just experienced. It's in our Martha Ellen Ty recital hall in the music building at Iowa State University. We also go to local churches in Ames and Des Moines, wonderful resources of Cassavant, Holtkamp, Reuter. These are some of the pipe organs available to my students. Most of my students have full-time jobs somewhere as organists, or part-time, I should say, part-time church jobs. So they're very well prepared by the time they exit Iowa State University as an undergrad. We also have scholarships available, and if you're interested, please contact me. They're very well prepared to study abroad. We focus on different playing repertoires from France, Germany, Italy, Holland, Belgium, Eastern European countries. We've covered all of these in the last 9 years that I've worked here. My teaching philosophy is inclusive. It's supportive, it's expansive, collaborative. We network with churches and Central Iowa American Guild of Organists. It's international. One of my students is actually from South Africa now, and another one from London, England. It's interdisciplinary. STEAM, STEAM, is one of our acronyms. It's science, technology, engineering, art, math, music, music, math. So, what else? I wanted to let you know that Paul Fay was here recently, one of a famous, a very well-known organist in Des Moines. He's from Leipzig, Germany, and he and my students had a wonderful meeting on Monday of this past week. Only one of many wonderful organists who have come through us. We have an annual Organist of Iowa program. We bring in major artists every fall. One thing about the Braumbau is we could take a plane to Hamburg, Germany, or we could go next door to the recital hall here in Iowa State University, play the three-manual pipe organ that you just heard. It handles Baroque repertoire incredibly well. And I would like to invite you to hear these wonderful students on the 30th of October, Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, so Central Daylight Time. This will be webcast. We're Going for Baroque program. So I invite you all to hear them in action. It's under, if you look under the website music at iowastate.edu under events. So it should be music period iastate.edu under events. That's how you find us. And what else? I wanted to share one more thing with you. Minerva at iastate.edu is my contact. If you would like a syllabus, if you want any more information about our degree programs, study abroad opportunities, we have several going in the spring to Italy and to Germany. Please write to me, ask me. Do you have any questions? Anything I can help you with, or I can, there are two more offerings to you. One is you can hear the Brombaugh pipe organ on the Oregon Historical Society Kaleidoscope of Colors, episode 2 program. I recorded it and aired it August 8th, 2021. So COVID. So you can listen to the Brombaugh. And also I'd like to invite you to our 30th International Festival of Women Composers that I'm organizing here, February 21st, 2026 at Iowa State University. So 2 more opportunities to be part of this wonderful program. I wish you, I'm very happy to be part of this event. Thank you for inviting Iowa State. Thank you, Michelle Cardos. I wish you all well on your life journeys as musicians and creators. And if you have questions, please reach out to me. You have my contacts now. Appreciate it very much.
Miriam,
Thank you
I
so
really
much.
appreciate it.
I'm so
And
sorry.
next up is Indiana University. Oh, do you have a question?
Yes, I
Okay.
just think that it will be nice if you share it in the chat, your email.
Chat.
Yeah, if it's possible.
My software engineer here assures me that we can do that. Jonathan is nodding. So we will do that
As
happily.
well as link to your live stream that you are planning to do.
Okay.
Nice.
Real pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, and welcome, Jeffrey.
Hello, I'm Jeffrey Smith from Indiana University Jacobs School of Music. Happy to be here, and it's wonderful to hear from colleagues about how much organ excitement is happening elsewhere. IU is a long-time leader in organ education, and we have a change of guard now because Christopher Young, after 34 years, has retired. We've replaced him with 3 visiting faculty, Ludger Lohmann, who for many years was at Stuttgart Music Conservatory, with Jess Eschbach, formerly of North Texas, and with David Schrader from Chicago. We offer bachelor, master, and doctorate degrees in organ and church music. We offer a performance diploma in organ, and unusually, we offer a performance diploma in organ improvisation. This is unique in the country. We have between 20 and 25 students, 20 and 25 majors. We have 20 on campus, and there are another 5 who are in their last stages of doctoral work. We have some very fine instruments here. We have 2 large organs by Fisk, one in our hall and one in the alumni hall. The latter is more French-based, and the our hall organ is a rather large, comprehensive organ, both mechanical action. We also have access at our nearby First Presbyterian Church to an excellent Paul Fritz organ in the North German style. Our students enjoy the extraordinary range of Jacobs and have a lot of interaction with other departments, primarily the historical performance department and the choral department. But our students are also involved in things like playing the organ part in Strauss Alpine Symphony, playing the organ part to Saint-Saëns 3, And even some students are involved themselves with the very extensive opera program here at IU. One of the great aspects that we have for organists is folding their training into a very large, very diverse music school. There are 1,600 students at the Jacobs School, and there are 185 full-time faculty members. So any kind of music you'd be interested in is available to you. I was very, very struck in my first week here that in the first 2 weeks of my time, there were 2 different performances of the Messiaen Quartet for the End of Time. And there are 8 fully staged operas each year. So we're set in that background, and in that way, I think IU has a unique place in the conservatories of our country. There are three areas of specialty within our department: performance, pedagogy, and church music. The performance degrees, the performance aspect would speak for itself. Pedagogy is something which my colleague, Dr. Janet Fischel, specializes in, and church music is my particular area of interest. In this regard, we have a weekly all-department colloquium, which we play hymns and anthems and accompany, and we improvise for one another. And we speak about all those aspects of church music, which most of us were never taught in music school, about how to deal with staff, how to get along with clergy, how to cope with budgets, and so forth. There are a couple of interesting aspects to the IU program, which I've found are worth mentioning, because this is not something that you would find on our website. I encourage you to go to our website, but what I'm about to say is too subtle to put on anybody's web page, and that is that I've noticed that at IU there is no one type of organ student. We have people from a wide variety of backgrounds. Some come to us with substantial experience, some even with having come to us having held a full-time position elsewhere. Some come to us as very well-formed virtuosi, and others are relatively new to the organ. We have a wide variety of religious backgrounds and cultural and socioeconomic backgrounds. We have our share of Asian students, not surprisingly. We have a few European students from time to time. But I'm really happy to say that our studios are extraordinarily cooperative and collaborative, and that these students who come from a variety of backgrounds all find a home at IU. Now there's some time for you to ask me questions, please.
I have a little bit different question, if I may. So I missed your presentation because I work on Fridays till 3 p.m. So I joined only 3:45. So is it possibility to get your PDFs, because it's written that you shared some information, and recording will be available, but supplementary materials, Molly, I don't know.
Yes, and my email is on the chat and on the recording of the, you're speaking of the earlier session about
Yes.
improvisation?
Unfortunately,
Yes.
I was not able to.
No worries. I was not taking attendance.
Yes.
Yeah, you could look on the recording, and also I'd be happy to send you some material.
I will.
Thank you.
I will put email in the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, thanks. I graduated from IU.
Yay.
I was there in 1978 to 83
Great.
and studied with Wilma Jensen. And I have to say, being at IU in that environment where I could go to operas, I could hear a number of symphony orchestras, large and small ensembles, the master classes alone in every possible instrument led by world-renowned faculty, and the friends I made from all parts of the world, you know, that became my network. And I just, I'm still in touch, and that experience, that total experience that I got at IU, um, I just can't speak highly enough of it, and it really changed my life, and it set a clear path forward for me as an organist. I just love the total experience. So very grateful to the very end.
Thank you so much for that. That means a lot coming from a loyal alum. Thank you.
I have a question. So due to like the vast campus and all of the students and all of the faculty, how accessible are the faculty for mentoring and guidance outside of lessons?
Thank you. That's a really good question. One of the things that surprised me when I came here was, first of all, that this oasis of music in the middle of the cornfields in a rather remote location, I have to admit. Because the music school is so strong, it's really its own community. And none of our students are lost in the shuffle, including our undergraduates, because we have enough faculty and we have enough time with them, and we make time with and for them so that they are not part of this vast university, but really part of a small, hardworking department, which is often like a family. So we're proud that our students have that interactive contact with the faculty. And that's been a hallmark, I think, of IU from the time of Wilma Jensen and Ozzie Rigatz and Marilyn Kaiser and many of my other distinguished predecessors. The teaching is the fundamental thing that we do, and the interaction with the students comes before all.
Thank you. And I just saw like a notification that says we have a little bit of extra time. So if anybody has any questions for any of the schools that presented today, now would be a good time to do so. And if not, that is okay. All right, I don't see any other questions, so I'm just going to stop the recording, and we can stay in this room until we're called back to the main room, or you can also leave the room and go back to the main room if you would like. But thank you all for your participation, and have a lovely evening.